We'll get started with DJ Dale. We'll go with Ryan Hennessey first. Go ahead, Ryan.
DJ, quick question. Last night, Coach Saban talked about how he's changing to daily testing. I want to know what you thought about it as a player and the confidence you have in your university to be that advanced to switch to daily instead of 3 days a week, and going into game week, how that feels for you and the confidence level that you're going to be playing against healthy players next week.
I feel like that's the best thing for our team right now, because he's doing everything he can to make sure that everybody is positive, and it's giving us the confidence to be able to practice around each other, knowing that everybody's not positive or whatever.
Okay, we'll go to Steven.
Hey, DJ, I just wanted to know, you being on the defensive side of the ball, what's it been like competing against Mac Jones, and just where have you seen him grow this camp as a full quarterback?
He's a great player. He's a great leader. You can see that he lights a fire up under our offense, and everything just came together.
Okay, we'll go to James Ogletree.
Hey DJ, I was curious what it's like playing against the run in practice with like kind of the diverse run schemes that the offense runs. How does that make your life tougher as a defensive lineman when they're mixing it up with a bunch of different types of runs?
Yeah, it's tough, but like you said, it gives you different looks, and it kind of like every team gonna do something different, and it's good to get a picture of that at practice.
Okay, Charlie Potter, go ahead.
Hey DJ, just want to ask you about Jordan Battle. He's a guy that you came in with, and have you seen him kind of take on more of a leadership role back there in the secondary?
You can tell that he's very confident. He communicates great, and he's been the leader in our secondary.
We'll go to Tyler Waldrop.
Hey, I was just curious if any of the younger offensive linemen, the ones that didn't get to play as much last year, have impressed you in fall camp, and if so, maybe is there one or two guys that have stood out and why?
It's hard to pick out one or two because really everybody's doing a great job. Everybody's doing good.
Tony Sakalas.
Yeah, I assume you've had some battles with Emil Ekiyor. What is it like going against him, especially on like run blocking plays where you can kind of use that power?
He's a good player. He's a dog. He brings out the best in me just competing every day in practice.
We'll go to Michael Casagrande.
Yeah, DJ, does it feel like it's almost game week yet? Does the rhythm of things feel like it's almost time to get out there and play a game?
Yeah, we get into the rhythm. But it kind of feels different, but I feel like next week everything is just going to click and be able to lock in.
Okay, now we will go to last question here with Charlie Potter.
Yeah, you were a freshman that played a lot early last year. What have you seen from a guy like Will Anderson, and do you feel like that's a role that he could take on as a true freshman, the outside linebacker?
Most definitely. Will, he's just a guy who came in, and you can just tell he just got it. His confidence, he's just so willing to learn. He listens. He's a great player, and he's got it. He came in with it.
Okay, DJ, thank you very much. That'll wrap this up, guys. Give me just a minute. We'll get back to you. We're waiting on Landon. And then the scariest day of the week when Landon talks to the press. So go ahead, raise your hand. We'll get to some questions. We'll start with Mike Rodak. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Mike.
Hey, Landon, just kind of curious about what you're expecting as far as crowd noise next week in Missouri. Obviously, it's going to be a smaller crowd than usual, and just how that affects what you're trying to do as an offensive line.
Honestly, I'm not too sure about the percentage of fans that will be in the stadium. I haven't looked into it. I think the biggest thing is we just got to keep doing what we've always done. We've practiced, we have things ready if there is crowd noise and stuff. So there's a plan in place to handle whatever we'll have in that situation.
We'll go over to Ryan Hennessey.
Yeah, Landon, Nick Saban said last night about how you guys are moving to daily testing. I kind of asked DJ the same thing. What confidence do you have going into this week? And it's kind of helps you guys out, giving you guys the capability to test every day, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, testing every day just gives everyone here peace of mind that the people you're going to be around aren't positive and you don't have a chance of spreading it and, giving it to everyone else. We're at that point now where, if one guy gets it, then, you might miss a game or you have people sitting out and missing a lot of time. So it's good to know that now we're testing every day and we can be safe with who all is here.
Over to James Ogletree.
Hey, Landon, a two-parter just about the offensive line and run blocking. Firstly, how difficult is it for you as the center with all the different types of runs that you guys like to do and mix it up? And then I wanted to ask about Carl Tucker as well. What have you seen out of him and what's he going to bring to the offense?
So I've been playing guard and center. So we do have, I mean, I wouldn't call it an extensive playbook, but we have a lot of plays in. My job really is to know, everybody's assignment on the plays and run them how coach wants them to be run. I think it's pretty simple when you look at it from that perspective. Carl's been great coming in. I know it's kind of hard, especially with this COVID thing happening. He's done a great job adjusting. We didn't get to have spring ball. I think he's done a terrific job coming in, filling in the tight end room, giving us another body to practice with. He's been given good reps, good looks, and I think he's done really well overall.
We'll go over to Tony Scalis.
Yeah, we've heard a lot about how Mac Jones has improved this offseason. Is it starting to kind of feel more like his team, and is the confidence around him? What is that like?
I think the biggest thing is no matter who's in at quarterback, they have to be able to control the situation, whether it's, the game situation or the team, whoever's in at that point. And I feel very confident Mac does that every day in practice. So do the other quarterbacks. They do it extremely well. They're very poised, and they have a plan.
Over to Cecil Herb. Go ahead, Cecil.
Oh, okay. Hi, Landon. This is Cecil Hurt from the Tuscaloosa News. Was there a point? This is the first time we've gotten to speak with you, and just over the course of the summer or earlier in September, was there a point where you were concerned that there might not be a season when you see the Big Ten canceling? Was there ever a point where you were concerned that there might not be a season for you this year?
I really don't concern myself with things like that. I think the biggest thing was just be where your feet are, like Coach said. Like, worry about the things you can control and the things, that we could do. For us, that was coming in every day, practicing and preparing like we're going to play a game the next day. And I think that's just kind of how you have to look at situations like this, is just control the things you can control and just be ready at all times.
Now over to Stephen.
Hey, Landon, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. We've heard a lot of talk about Will Anderson, an outside linebacker, but any of the other young guys starting to step up?
A lot of the young guys have been doing extremely well, especially in the defensive front seven. Will Anderson, terrific guy, great athlete. He's done a lot of great things in practice. Tim Smith, extremely good person, great player. He's given good effort. Burrows, Latham, a lot of those young guys are really starting to get adjusted to college. It does take a little time, but I think now they've kind of been in this system for a little bit. We've been practicing, and every day they come out giving good looks, great effort, and I really appreciate that.
Charlie Potter, go ahead.
You talked about adjusting, and last year you kind of came in right before preseason camp started. So just how different is this camp, and how different has it felt for you being now one of the older guys in the room?
It's really not that different. Football at its core doesn't change that much. I mean, it's really just this year's a new team, and that's how every year is. So you have to adjust to that. And for me, it's, this is my 5th year, and I think this was time for me to kind of be an older guy, be a little more vocal, speak up, and, really kind of get this team going for this year.
We'll wrap up with Tyler Waldrop unless there are any other questions.
Hey, I just wanted to ask you about running back Brian Robinson. Just what have you seen out of him the last few weeks? And just what does he seem like personality-wise? And as a leader, does he seem different this year than he was maybe a year ago?
B-Rob's done a great job. He's been a vocal guy, and he comes to practice every day with a great attitude. And not only does he show it when he talks, but he also shows it when he plays. I mean, he runs the ball with a purpose. Every time he gets his hands on it, he's going to make the best of the situation he's given. And I think that's great because the running back room looks really good right now, and we have a lot of great athletes in there that can do a lot of great things.
All right. Thank you, Landon. That's all for today's Players Press Conference.